Good morning. So before we continue with inspection of the other samples that we have already prepared, and maybe preparing more samples and work according to the plan, I should now, I want to address two very important issues that are actually related. First is, I would say, my health. And second is what I actually want to prepare today. Because yes, I will create all sort of like mixture that for long range, but I want also to produce at least one construction of several containers with a major electrolysis, and another one which will be both symbolic and productive. But first, this is my P, and as I've said yesterday, doesn't look right. It looks better than yesterday, but yesterday it was like even a little bit red, and I was a little bit worried, but not too worried. But I thought to myself, okay, what can you do? Let's take a look under the microscope. And I cannot learn much from it, but let's very quickly take a look at like a sample of my P under the microscope. So yes, you can see some very nice neros. Of course, it's not a coincidence. I just placed the slide just here. It's not that everything has so many neros. It's just one place. Most of it is devoid of large neros, but it's got like some small ones. But this is typical of my P, that to contain neros, but not in same density as like semen, for example. But what is more, obvious that and this is the elephant in the room that we need to address, is that, and I've seen it before, but I decided not to think about it too much, but it's not the first time that I actually see it, but we need to address the elephant in the room. It's not the first time. So I'm not falling completely off my feet, but yeah, let's put it on the table. Let's hold the bull in its horns, or whatever metaphor. My pee contains life form that shouldn't be there. Like, I was obviously infected by the Israeli intelligence, and I have a good idea when it actually happened. It happened quite a while ago, and I think I know who infected me. I'm almost certain, but certainly they did it. It's not a new thing that they do such things. And since then, I have my pee contains all sorts of life forms, and probably not not only my pee, but other things as well. Now, this is quite horrible, and it's typical to the Israeli intelligence. Does it make me mad? At that point, nothing surprises me, and I trust in God that that those companies cannot really do things that will permanently harm me. So now, more to the point, it was to the point, but in the practical aspect, I'm certain that whatever, that the things that the Israeli people actually suffer now, both Titans, and that I don't think that they're all sick or dead or regular Shabakniks, both men and women that suffer greatly, is probably the same thing that I have. They also got it from the neurons in their body that created it. And my assumption is that it affects them much to a far harder than me. Incredibly, that for them it's much more difficult. But of course, they shouldn't have infected me with this thing. I cannot really tell how it affects me. My estimation is that most of the weaknesses and illnesses that I feel throughout and this was true during all my life, and it's still true today, in the last couple of years and up to this day, that it's caused not by any specific poisoning or infections of life forms like you've seen under the microscope, but by the terror that the actual people of the Shabak are causing me. Using the method that I've spoken about it like very, recently, and also, and more importantly, everything that is under the two videos that I call torture compendium, and there was a lot of like details regarding like physical and mental torture that I'm always subjected to up to this moment, until this moment, and this is, I think, affects my health to a supremely like harder extent and more extent, like larger extent than this infection. I mean, however disgusting it of course it is very disgusting to know that you are full of like millions of like invasive life forms. But I think that, rationally, from a rational point of view, it is disgusting, and I am disgusted by these things like any like normal person. But from a rational point of view, I would say that it probably doesn't affect my health significantly as, and not nearly as much as like the things that I actually, the torture that I'm subjected to all the time, like including wherever I'm under arrest. Now, several things should be said. This could have been cured almost instantly, like if I like had access to like the whatever you call like the Titan tea or coffee. But of course, I was never like, I've never eaten even a spoon of it like all my life. Even though you know that I actually, they took my flesh and blood for me in order to actually create the cycles that generate this stuff. But they Israeli ate 100% of it. They didn't even give me one spoon throughout all my life. This is incredibly sinful and disgusting, and typical to the evil that they are, the Israelis. And if they just would have given me just a spoon of it, I would probably be cured from it, but they didn't. Of course, now they say, they tell me, if you only stay in Israel, we will give you a horde that will just be yours, like a Titan car or whatever. And I should say that, first of all, if you have it, if you own it, like to give, then it's probably disgusting. Why should I get anything from you? You are disgusting, and everything that you own, presumably you own like a human being, or like you own a creature, and you want to sell me this creature? I do not want to buy creatures, like sentient creatures, and I do not want to to have any kind of like relation with the creature that you own, because both you and them are disgusting, excruciatingly disgusting. Although, of course, they wouldn't have given me Titan. They just would have given me what I call the hybrid, which is just a Homo sapiens that have like eaten those nanobots. And of course, she would just take like the nanobots, and at best case, just leave me like after like she have like done her prostitute job. And the worst case, which is much more probable, she also she would have like tried to stay and be my handle or whatever other like disgusting like term from your disgusting intelligence community terminology, and which means that she controls me at her sick mind and the minds of the operators, and if I do not obey their whatever she asks, she just go to the police to say that I raped her or something like that. So no, I in any case I would not have given like anything of the stuff that you cannot give me, because your Titans are sick and they will never be cured. In any case, the major aspect here is that I don't want to have anything to do with Israelis. You can hear them right now doing their coughing all around me. It's part of the method, like to torture a person by like everyone around him, like in the garden, is doing the like that day and night, and it should be like driving mad. They're doing it. You can hear it right now, literally. These people are so disgusting, and everything that they own is disgusting. And why would I even like? Why would I want like this kind of merchandise? Aren't there like Titans abroad that are not slaves to these disgusting creatures, and they are not disgusting themselves? Like why would I not be a free person with and like free to choose my own relationships with disregard to the pimps of the Shabak? This is so disgusting, and the fact that they even think that it's feasible is beyond me. How disgusting they are. But I should say another thing. Whatever cure that I might obtain from this like Titan tea or coffee, and of course I've never given it like even a spoon, and it will never happen in Israel. This should also be like a temporary remedy, because the day after that the Israelis can still infect me. They can do it. I mean, I'm their slave. What I really need is to be rescued from the Nazi prison. And I would say that once I'm rescued from the Nazi prison and I'm like in a place that with like reasonable people and not filled with like vipers and scumbags, I'm certain that I can cure myself, like using like the commands to the Neros, because I'm not a Titan, I'm not a Venusian, I'm a different kind of breed, and we can clean ourselves. And the fact that, I mean, the body doesn't do it by itself, you could ask, so why doesn't it do it by itself? So maybe because it doesn't hurt that much, and maybe it's, I mean, maybe the Neros don't do like things like, I mean, they are not ordered unless it's kind of like in their programming, which is essential to, I mean, the operation of my body. Because otherwise, I mean, they are the boss, as I said. I mean, we should be glad that there is like the symbolic language that, I mean, create like a barrier between my consciousness and my will of how I want to have my body operated, and also other things that, like the things that you see all around you, like in this channel, and the things that they actually do by themselves. Because, I mean, there should be like a boundary, because we are not the same. We have not the same subjectivity. And so, yes, so for that reason, since it doesn't like put the body in any immediate risk, and perhaps not any kind of risk, I don't know, besides the fact that it's subjectively disgusting, is enough for the Neros not to kill those creatures. But I'm certain that if I can use like the command and the correct containers in order to tell them to kill everything. But again, I'm not sure that I even want to do it. Not because, I mean, of course I want to do it, but again, the Israelis can infect me again and again and again. So it all leads to the same conclusion, that I need to be rescued from this Nazi hell. So let's make it quick. What kind of two construction I decided to start with today? And all the while I will continue with the samples and the microscopy work, but I want to like to start other things as important stuff as well. So one will be actually another ring experiment. I want to actually create another ring experiment. This will be done with both electromagnet and like fire chamber, like that will support with energy, and also electrolysis chamber, which will be the main chamber, and we will have like a little change in the symbolic language, but not a major change. So, and I mean, hopefully, I mean, with the new, like, better understanding of symbolic language and maybe energy boost, and of course, like much more neural than we had in the past, we will be able to actually create visible rings. This is one. And the second will actually be a new thing, but very important one. This will be a both like symbolic and practical construction that will be aimed to set me free. So the symbolic understanding of this, I mean, the symbolic meaning will be the creation of, put it simply, earthquakes, because the state of Israel requires a very, very good shaking, and you understand why already. Like, this is hell, and they are, I mean, of course, and as I've said many times, like, Rash Adama, like, I mean, in many languages, including Hebrew, I mean, earthquake is like called like a noise of the earth or of the land, like noise, and it's so, I mean, typical to the Israelis that are making noise like non-stop, like cicadas. So yes, I want to, I mean, shake the land, and I will do it with special containers that will signify, and also paintings that I have. It's really a combination of painting and containers, and I mean, I mean, it should be. I mean, I need like to actually. I mean, I don't have all the details in my mind. Certain like amount of artistry and like innovation is required, but I hopefully, I mean, with the help of God, I will be able to. I mean, to recruit the needed artistic panache to this creation. But I mean, the meaning, the symbolic meaning will be the creation of earthquake, and I really hope that this will be starting in Israel very, very soon, because I mean, I'm still here in this hell, and I have to be released, and maybe earthquakes will be, I mean, the things that will change the minds of, I don't know if the Israelis, because nothing will change their mind, but maybe of people abroad that, as I said many times, they need to move arms and legs, not mouths and tongues. So maybe if they will see earthquake, they will, I mean, be more prone to actually move their arms and legs to rescue me and my daughters from the Nazi hell. But I've said that there is also a practical side to this construction. It will be an elaborate construction. Maybe I will do it in steps, like not everything at once. But now I want to create a new life form, which is special in two ways. First, it will be a flying one. and the container will be sealed as much as possible. So I mean, if and when it will be created, it will not fly away immediately, only when I actually wish it to fly. And you will also be able to actually see that it's created inside it, and it will be created from very unconventional mixture. I will give you the details later. And actually, the container will be of a new type that I haven't used yet. It will be covered with both blue and red, like blue and red, like stripes of blue and red. This is not. This does not like relate to the flags of like Russia or UK or USA or whatever. No, this means that this creature should be a hybrid, an hybrid creature of the type. I mean, half Terran, like the blue signifies the blue pearl, Earth, and red, of course, signifies Mars. So it should be half Martian, half Terran or Earthen flyer. Maybe something, I mean, not entirely dissimilar to the flying helicopter that is now roving Mars at, I mean, adjacent to its like large, I think it's the Perseverance or no, the Curiosity. No, Curiosity is, I mean, the latest rover actually contained like something like that, like a flying creature, and that is currently on Mars, but it was created on Earth. So something like that. I mean, a life form that is a hybridic of Earth and Mars, and this will have the blue and red stripes. And it will be actually very interesting to see it materializing and start its life on Earth. Of course, if we have many, I will be more prone to actually release them from their captivity into the wild. If I have only one, maybe I want to actually, I mean, keep it for research. So that's the plan. And please, I live in a Nazi prison. I need the intervention of foreign powers to rescue me from the Nazi hell, me and my daughters. Thank you very much.